And welcome back to the Football Fanatic podcast. This is season two, episode one, or in actual fact, overall, it's episode 40 if we're counting last season as well. So we hit a milestone. Delighted to be back. And Howard, you are returning to us again. Thank you very much for signing on for another season. During the
Yep, thanks, Zach.
summer, we were busy recruiting as well. We decided to bring on who was a guest last season, two times, I think. We decided he was too good to just have as a guest. We wanted him on full time. Mossy, welcome. How are you?
I'm here on loan, lads, season long loan.
Oh, really? That's how it's going to
Good
be. Okay. So it's only going to be a one season thing. We'll see.
to have a United fan on deck that we can,
100%.
right.
We give out enough about them. So, I mean, it'll be good to kind of get a little bit of feedback and kind of response from time to time.
Yeah, I'll have to defend the corner somehow. All right.
100%. And you will notice as well that we are one man down as well. Dan, he will be on this season. He will be back next week, but he won't be with us this evening. He will be on this season, I should have said. Yeah, so he texted me there about 15 minutes ago saying that Deck won't be able to make it on. They found me, and then he just left it at that. So we will hopefully he's all right.
We didn't think this day would come so quickly, did we?
No,
So
honestly,
got him.
they
Fuck.
finally got him. Long overdue. But yeah, hopefully we'll see him back next Monday. And yeah, delighted to be back. It was a long summer. I mean, the Euros were decent. I'd say they were decent without being unbelievable. The Olympics are just finished. Moss, you were at the Olympics, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah, I was over in France for
What was
the
that like?
rugby and boxing, and
Class.
saw a little bit of soccer. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, really phenomenal added atmosphere around the place. Like center of Paris was weirdly quiet. Parisians
Really?
seem to have disappeared, but this is a great atmosphere around. Everyone's in great form. So many different nationalities.
Yeah.
There were some logistical
Oh
issues.
yeah, I was about to
The
ask like where's there?
stadiums and stuff were managed, but
Okay.
overall, really positive, brilliant experience.
Oh, yeah, it
We were
was
at the
brilliant.
box in particular. You were like 2 rows from the
Oh
first round of
really?
the box, and it was phenomenal. It was the Dean Clancy, the guy from Sligo, was boxing the day we were there.
Okay.
Um, but like there was such an amazing atmosphere. Minute an Irish guy stepped out, the atmosphere was electric compared to a lot of other nations. They were very well represented. I
Yeah.
suppose being so close to home. Yeah,
Absolutely. Like it was no, I've enjoyed it like and I can't say that I was a huge fan of watching the Olympics every 4 years, but this one in particular I did keep an eye on. And I mean Ireland done brilliant. But I suppose before that obviously as well was the Euros. Um did you watch it? Did you keep an eye on it, Howard?
I did, yeah. To be honest, it didn't really grab me as
No.
much. I don't know whether it was because we were so footballed out of it by the end of the season. Then it came whatever 2 or 3 weeks later. I just it was nearly I needed to decompress from the football itself, and then it was back on, and I kind of watched a couple of the group games, and to be honest, there was a lot of nil-alls and one-alls, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was really a goal fest that I was expecting it to be, but um. And the players looked quite tired actually. I thought at a lot of the
Definitely.
a lot of the players who had played like long seasons they didn't really show up um
Yeah.
at the tournament. So yeah, look for me it was grand, but I think football's gone where the money is now. The European Championships, I'm not sure are they all these tournaments losing a bit of prestige when it comes to that? When the amount of money that's in football now, it's the clubs really that are ruling the roost, and the club tournaments that are calling the shots really.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah,
I think like I'd agree as well. I don't think like it was an unbelievable tournament. Some players, some good performances. I think Spain rightly deserved to win. They were the kind of team
yeah,
that looked like they wanted to play football the most. What stood out for me, and I suppose it happens every couple of years at tournaments, is England. Like they're almost like a circus to watch. Like they're
yeah,
the media destroyed them. Like the media had destroyed them after the group stage, where like they got out of the group stage, but I mean they were calling for Southgate to be sacked.
yeah.
They were calling for Foden to be benched, Saka to be benched, and for Cole
Palmer.
Palmer to be playing. And I mean, it happens every 2 and 4 years at the Euros and at the World Cup. Like they destroy them. They don't let them get on with it. Like they're doing Southgate's job for them. The media is, and like they just have them completely warped before they even
they
get to
do.
kind
But
of.
like to be fair, Deck, it's very hard to watch Southgate manage that game, manage those players playing that style, and keep
Yeah,
your mouth
Yeah.
shut. Like as in, they do consistently do it, but like you were looking at him going, this is so unbalanced. Why do you insist on playing Trippier right? But why would you not change it? There was so many times during it that you're like, you have an unbelievable squad, but it's so laboured
It's
all the
is
time.
a there's a level of fear I think underneath it all, as you said, like that media
Yeah,
thing. I think that
Mm,
plays into. I think that plays also into the way Southgate plays there. You know what I mean? He's
maybe.
almost
yeah.
nearly
He's
afraid to
so
actually go.
conservative, like yeah,
Yeah, so hard. Like for me, he was screaming out for Rice, Bellingham, and then either Foden or Palmer in the 10. But for some reason, he was never putting Bellingham beside for Rice, which
Yeah,
I didn't get. But he just had it in his head that Bellingham and Rice was too open. So like that once he did that, it changed everything because you're leaving out a quality player no matter what. And
yeah.
then Kane was just a passenger. Like
He was. He was very poor for
Kane,
his
he
standard.
was like one of the lads I was saying that just played so many games during the season and just looked
Yeah,
gone.
yeah. Well,
yeah,
he did have a back injury
Did
that
he? Yeah.
I would question. Was he really 100% fit? Because moving wise, he wasn't the same as he normally was.
no,
He
definitely
had come
not.
off in the Champions League semi final with a back injury.
All
And
right.
then he got an injection to play through that, and he never looked right, I don't think, throughout the whole
Yeah.
tournament.
Now, a couple players kind of didn't turn up, and whether it was fatigue or whether it was just the kind of fear factor, it didn't happen for England. Fair enough that he was being very kind of cagey and cautious as well. So Southgate, that's the type of manager he is. But I mean, with the players at his disposal and the media, I just think they really went to town on him very early. Like literally after the first game, they were kind of already kind of trying to
But he's
kind of
not.
do.
I like when I heard United were in from. Remember that Mossy? There was talk of Jim
It
Ratcliffe being a
was, yeah,
buddy of Southgate. I was like, what are they thinking about going for Southgate? He
Yeah,
doesn't like he. In fairness to him, right? He got them to a couple of finals, which is great. But you can just tell he's been completely tactically outdone every time they step out on the pitch. Like they have no like Saka's there playing like there's no one around the Saka giving him the ball. You know what
no,
I mean? You're like
no,
it's and then they're comparing like oh Saka's not a great tournament. It's like Saka has Odegaard and White beside him giving him the ball all the time, knowing where he's going to move. Like there's no interaction plays between the players in England. It's just
yeah.
you're a
yeah.
good player, you go out and play in that position, and that's it. Like you know what I mean? It doesn't really
And
fit together at all.
Phil Foden got such a
Yeah,
battering in the
perfect
media.
example. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, he can't play unless it's in Pep's fantastic system. I was like,
It's
no,
ridiculous.
he's used to players moving
yeah,
to
yeah, exactly.
great triangles and passing as opposed to this
100%.
static.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's
He's the
very
perfect
unfair.
example, actually. He's the perfect example. Like, didn't have a great tournament, but like really not really his fault. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
The
I
Yeah,
talent's
agree.
there.
All right. So listen, that was the Euros, and what's he call it? Um, Premier League is back next weekend. So I mean, delighted to have it back. But what's he call it? You'd wonder as well, like, just will they be in terms of match level and fitness? Like, I mean, the
Mm.
Euros were only over a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of players were at the Olympics. I mean, we must kind of cover this at some stage as well. Like, our players at this stage, are they playing too much?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we will look at it again. Um, but this weekend gone by, we did see the Community Shield up for grabs between United and City. So, what's he call it, Moss? I'm gonna give it to you first. What do you think? United, anything that stood out for you? Anything positive?
yeah. I suppose in the first maybe 30 minutes we were completely outplayed, which was concerning considering the amount of players, 13 players City are missing.
Yeah.
I thought Bob was Bob, isn't it? I don't. He
Sideshow Bob,
was.
Sideshow Bob.
Oscar
Yep.
Sideshow
Yeah,
Bob. Yeah,
he was. He was played a decent game. He was
very
very
good.
impressive on the ball, a good and tight position, tight corners, like able to get around people, very comfortable. And I was looking at him going, you could like City are going to be all right without Alvarez if this is what you're going to have coming in. Like,
Yeah,
um, United kind of started to kick into motion a bit coming in before half time, and had I would arguably say some of the better chance. I know City hit the post in the first half, but United created chances, and like Rashford missed two sitters. Ahmad like really played well. Casemiro was not trying to cover a massive hole. They had narrowed it in so he actually could play the ball forward and looked quite comfortable and played
yeah,
well in that kind of the role he was used to doing in Madrid as opposed to what he was being asked to do at times last season. He's also come back looking a little bit leaner, a little bit fitter. Um, Similar, like some positives in that regard. And back and play, Garnacho coming on, look sharp, and Ahmad very impressive. Concerns in relation to us again, frailties having the lead going into the last couple of minutes and conceding,
yeah.
which was something we were very guilty of on a couple of occasions last year. So seeing that again, you're like, oh, we really need to sort that out. You can't keep giving away last minute goals. But overall, like went into the penalty shootout, Sancho missed. I was like, right, okay, when are you leaving? But look, Onana is a liability. We all know that. So it was kind of a mixed bag. Some positives. There was a semblance of a pattern of play,
Yeah.
which is not something we can often say about Ten Hag's teams in the last 12 months. So there's things that I would be positive about, but there's still a lot of frailties there that were
Would you
still a
say,
big issue.
Mossy, the goalkeeping issue is top priority at the moment for United? Like if you were there,
No, like if I was there, he wouldn't be playing. I would be giving the Turkish guy who was number one for starting for
whoever he
Turkey.
is, Mr. Turkey.
Yeah, like I at least give him a chance. Like he can't, like he takes such risks, and he was interviewed about a week ago or so, or maybe it was in the US and the preseason tour, saying I'm going to take more risks this season. I was like,
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I
man,
saw that.
you just need to play it simple and
Yeah.
save the ball and catch the ball. He's like, I have no faith in him, but he'll
He need
cost us points during the season.
Onana needs to spend like an afternoon with Gareth Southgate and learn how to be cautious, learn how
Yeah,
to just play it
Yeah,
safe,
yeah,
risk
take it
averse.
exactly. So on the game itself, took a while to kind of get into it, I think. But again, it was good to see. I agree with Massey saying Oscar Bob. I thought he was very good. Hopefully, he'll get game time this season.
What age is
Savine
he, Deck?
Oscar Bob, he's 19.
All
So I
right, so
mean,
still young.
19,
yeah.
20.
19, just going 20, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Savino came
What about
on,
McIntyre, Deck? What did you think of
James McAtee, he was on loan last season at
McAtee? Sorry.
Sheffield United. He done okay last season, nothing unbelievable, but again, Pep seems to rate him highly. He doesn't want him going on loan, doesn't want them any kind of talk of him being sold, etc. He wants
Mm.
him there. Um, he has come through the youth team, and there is talk of him being, developing into a quality player. But again, it'll come back to whether he gets minutes or not. Tends to kind of play in that attacking midfielder role. You could put him either left or right, perhaps, but he almost like a Phil Foden type player. And I mean, will he get the chance? That's what it's going to come back to with
Yeah.
Oscar Bob as well. Will they get the minutes? Will
Kind
they
of
get?
kind of
will-
feels like the way the City are talking and setting up that Foden is going to be that central creative player with De Bruyne coming
Yeah,
in and out more so. Is that kind of the way that you're getting the sense of the
definitely.
season,
And
or do you think
no, I do, and I've always said that Foden is going to end up in the middle, like this kind of playing him
mm,
on the left. It's just a stopgap, in my opinion, until De Bruyne is finished. I do think
yeah,
Foden is going to end up in the middle. Um, but
It
yeah,
just
yeah,
on Bob and McAtee there, like it does. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's clever because once you City get relegated, Bob and McAtee, the likes of them are going to stick around, keep playing ball. Well, if you bring in the big bucks, the big shooters, they're going to be gone. Like
I
so
think
it's clever.
I
It's
said it.
clever
I
playing
heard
by City.
Go on,
I was
Mark.
listening to a discussion about this financial fair play and where it's going. And
Where is it going, Moss?
there's a serious movement that seem to be suggesting that City aren't going anywhere and that they're going
Yeah,
to get about a £10 million fine and that the league can't afford to relegate them.
Oh
So
God.
yeah.
they're getting like raining in all these, oh, this is going to happen. I really don't think. And even if they get the conviction, like there is a decision made by I think November, I reckon it's going to be caught up in appeals for at least 10 to 15, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like there's just not really going to be any sort of. I want it to
Yeah.
happen. I would love to get rid of our noisy neighbours, but I don't know.
Hold on now. At this stage, hold on a sec. You're our noisy neighbors. For the
Yeah,
last
we've got history on
decade,
our side, Jack. It's fine.
his history. Okay, okay. No, but come here. I agree with that narrative as well. Like I'm hearing that as well, that City won't be going anywhere. That it's not going to be this massive punishment that Dan likes to, dream about every feckin' night. We're not going to be
Well, it'll
relegated to
set a
League
very
Two.
bad precedence if that's the case.
Look, if we're guilty, if we're innocent, well then it'll be justice.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you know
if
what I
yeah,
heard
but
was
if
worse, Howard?
which
The deduction they reckon that if they do get a point deduction will be no more than 3 points.
that's just laughable. Like, we may as well be like, what's the point even having the rules? So it's
Hold
just
on
like
now, Howard. We
just
don't know
throw
who we don't know who he's been talking to. He could be he could be talking to anybody for all we know.
But if they broke the rules and they actually have like let's say 40 or 50 charges are proven to be actually
Well, then we
correct.
deserve to have the book thrown at us
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I get at. Yeah, rather than tiptoeing around fucking 10 million here
Yeah.
and 3 points there. Like,
No,
so
I
anyway,
agree. That will come to fruition in November, and I'm actually looking forward to doing the podcast while that is on, because I mean you're going to see the best and the worst of Deck at that time.
are we going to get your man on Panic? Are we? We get your Panic on. We're
Lord
pressing the panic
Panic,
button. Will we?
I
Will
fucking
that will that will that decide, Deck, whether Greg Pep signs an extension or not? He
uh,
usually signs November, December time.
100%. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
He's if we are relegated like to League Two or League One, I mean, he's not renewing to kind of go down a few divisions and try and bring us back up. Like he's much closer to this end of his contract than he is to the beginning. Even if City were to, you know, I don't know, do you want to call it successfully get away with it or whatever? Even if they were to remain in the Premier League and everything stays the same, I think Pep he'll see out this season another year, another 2 years, I think max. He's at seven now. Is at 7 or 8? He came in 2017. So this is
seven
his
out of
eighth.
8 years, isn't it?
Yeah, this is his eighth season. So could he see out like a 10-year season or something like that, or a 10-year kind of contract? I don't know. But if we are punished and relegated, I do think he'll see out the season and be gone. And that goes for a couple of players as well. Like if we are relegated, I don't see many sticking around. Rico Lewis is going to bring us back
Rico,
up the table,
Sideshow Bob.
So it's Rico and Bob. But no, listen, that is for November, so it won't be too far away. And we will watch it closely and we'll discuss it closely as well. And I won't wear my City hat. Like I'll just kind of come out as a football fan and you'll get kind of City fan and just football fan. Um, so that was the Community Shield. So we are the Community Shield champions for
Woohoo!
2024. We have an awful record and actually we lost the
Gee.
last 3 years. But that was, what do you call it? Actually, just on that before I move on, Haaland had a very poor game. And as you all know, Alvarez has moved to Atletico Madrid just today. What do you make of Haaland? Like, he didn't exactly set the world alight last season. He did get the top goal scorer in that, but I mean, he didn't have a great season compared to his first season. So, I mean, if he is to continue to score goals but put in poor performances, I mean, what would Guardiola do or what should he do, in your opinion?
Mm.
Do you stick with with a player who's playing very poorly, but he's getting goals every
He'll
now and
just
again?
keep getting goals. I say once he keeps scoring, like I know it's the problem with him. That's his game. Like he's never going to light it up.
Yeah,
He's never going to dribble past 10 players and stick it in the back of the net. He's just a stone cold finisher, like, so he'll
yeah,
have bad games and he'll get a hat trick.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
just, he won't lose that knack. Like, that's not something that's going to go away in the morning or this season. He'll still do it. The question is, how much is it inhibiting the rest of your team,
Yeah.
really? In the grand scheme of things, and that's maybe what something Pep might look at and be like, well, he's given us this, this, and this, but we're boring to watch, and we're maybe not as effective as what we could be if we had an Alvarez-esque kind of player up top instead
Speaking
of
on
Haaland.
Alvarez, like his decision to leave, I mean, he did play a lot last season. I mean, fair enough, in the big games, who's Guardiola go with? He goes with Haaland. If you were Alvarez,
it
would
was
you have
like
done?
your third most minutes last season.
Oh, he was
Like
up
he
there
was,
100%.
yeah. So it's not like
I,
he wasn't playing.
I think he's a great player, and I think he's going to go to Atletico Madrid. He's going to be their number one, and like they have a long list of quality strikers.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, he always reminded me a little bit of Aguero, and I think Aguero obviously was at Atletico Madrid as well. But
he,
are
yeah,
we?
I think, yeah, lost for you, but
No, I was about to
like
ask you, do you think it's a big one?
Dan loves fucking Alvarez. Dan thinks the sun shines out of Alvarez's ass the way
He
he goes on
does.
about him. I think he's had his purple patches, Alvarez, but I thought in the second half of the season when they kept giving him a chance, he kind of went off form for a while and he never really got back that purple patch that he had at the beginning of the season. And I kind of just thought maybe is he going to be that player for you that everyone thinks he can be? I don't know if he has that 20 goal a season every season in him. He's got like 11 goals max in his career per season. Well, maybe if you go back to wherever he was at Boca Juniors, wherever he was at. But I think he's a good player. He's not your stone cold finisher. He's not an Aguero because he doesn't play. I don't think he's strong enough up top leading the line like Aguero would be.
Yeah.
But I think he's that guy behind your Haaland, like you set your
He
second
creates
striker.
a lot.
You
Yeah.
set
His
your second
movement is
striker,
fantastic.
yeah.
He links up your play
Well,
well.
well,
And
He's as
he's a
Xerxes
workhorse.
described.
He's a workhorse, yeah, as well. Yeah.
okay, we'll
Yeah,
put it like this. Like,
Xerxes came to United and described himself as a 9.5, and I feel like
yeah,
that's a very accurate description of
yeah.
Alvarez. He's in good link
Oh,
up play, but
like,
he's
would
not a
he?
he's not a finisher,
No, he's not. He does score goals, but he's not like a natural finisher. Fair
a
point.
natural finisher. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, like again, I when I kind of saw like I didn't believe it for a second because I thought, okay, this is just media spinning, stories, but ended up happening. He's gone. Is it a good move? Financially, it's brilliant for City, obviously. I mean, it's 5 times what we've got him for. But I mean, would he start for the majority of the other team? Would he start for Liverpool, Arsenal, United? Do you think?
Mm. Yeah,
I think he'd be close to it. Like
yeah.
he's around that level.
Yeah.
I
He
don't,
could definitely
yeah.
get in the United team. I'd say maybe would you have him in the Arsenal team, Coward?
Yeah, like he's a good player, like, but again, where do you play him? Like, you put him up front or where? Like, he's a very good. Like a Jesus, I think. He's a very good
Yeah.
player that's versatile, playing in lots of different places, but he's not going to be, for that amount of money, I would expect someone who's going to light it up. I'm not sure if he's going to be that. He's a very good player, but I don't know if for Atletico Madrid, is he going to be their star player?
Yeah.
Because it's star money they're paying. They're paying crazy money, I
82
thought.
million, yeah.
But he
So
is a very Simeone signing in that he
Yeah,
will
yeah, he'll work.
he will
he will, yeah.
run, he will hassle, he will harry, he will lead the line, and he's got pace. He's a lot of attributes that a Simeone team
Yeah,
will
Yeah.
he's
value.
similar to Griezmann actually, kind of similar
Yeah,
Yeah,
style player to
definitely,
Griezmann. So
definitely.
maybe
Yeah,
he's a
not
long-term
not a
replacement for him.
prolific goal scorer, but will score some goals, will create, will bring
Yeah,
others into play. 82 million. I mean, it's a lot of money. So the focus is on him now. But I mean, if you look at the 12-month period, from now to like whenever he won the World Cup, I mean, he has some trophy haul over
yeah,
that
he's
12-month
everything won.
period.
Like
Everything.
he's
He
won
won. He
everything.
won. He
Yeah,
completed. He completed football. Like, you
yeah.
know.
The Copa
So
America, like he's everything internationally. He's very everything as a club player. Like
yeah.
maybe
So I
a new
mean,
challenge. I would say Pep is grating to put up with all the time, and going to
yeah.
Simeone probably isn't much different either. But
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Right. We'll see how he gets on. In terms of City replacing him, I mean, it's hard to know what to do. I mean, if you bring in someone to replace Alvarez, all of a sudden you're taking away the opportunity for the likes of Bob, for the likes of McAtee, for Savinho and Doku. They have to fit in somewhere. Grealish has been completely forgotten about. With
yeah,
Savinho coming in, I mean, this is a big season for Grealish, I think, because I mean, I thought he had a good first season. Second season where they won the Champions League. Thought he was very good. Last season, I thought he was poor, to be honest. If he is not to kind of perform that well this season, I mean, could he be looking for a new
I'd say,
club next
I'd say,
summer?
I'd say he could go this summer. Like if I was him, I'd be going this summer. Like
You think
he's
so?
getting on. Like he's what? He's nearly 30 now.
It's
He's
28,
28,
29.
29. Like so, like you're not gonna get much money from him next summer. Like I would be. If I was Grealish, I'd be looking to go sooner rather than later, to be honest. I don't think
Yeah.
Pep is his biggest fan. But in relation to Alvarez, I think they need to get a replacement for Haaland. Really, is the issue. They don't
Fair
have
point,
they
yeah.
don't have a second striker, so well, Haaland
do you
can't play all
think
the games.
do you think they'll prioritize that? Because like I realistically see that him falling back on a false nine, or
Yeah,
like with the
But
attacking he has
yeah,
rotating that. Pep seems to like that style.
yeah,
He doesn't really like Haaland.
yeah, I know,
He's
yeah,
accepted he scores goals and
yeah,
has adjusted his team to do so, like
yeah.
to that fact. Like, but he doesn't really like. He's not a traditional player that he would like.
What do you
Like he
do?
had
Like
Zlatan at Barca and he hated
yeah.
it. So he
I
has
mean,
adapted. To be fair to him, but I think they're going to try and invest some of their money in
but
a
like,
cover for Rodri. I think that's
yeah,
more of a priority at City than anything
fair
else
point.
because you're not going to get a quality player I'm not going to play a Rodri standard to come to you and sit behind Rodri, but like a versatile 6'8"
Yeah,
would be a priority, I think, there. Because if Rodri's missing, that's a different City team.
definitely, definitely. Um, yeah, just the way he kind of in the middle for Spain as well during the Euros, I thought he was just does what
He's
he
phenomenal.
just does what he's just a fantastic player.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
He's a real
yeah,
leader too. Like
definitely,
they were in the
100%.
semi final and Spain were playing in the semi final, and he was like, "Lads, keep the ball." like, what are you doing trying to beat there? He was roaring at Nico Williams to just keep the ball, go to the corner. Just he has that shrewdness
Clever. Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
need at that level, and he's a great leader. So
yeah.
I think if it was me, like they can get any of those players you've listed there, Grealish, Savine, what's his name, the new signing from
Savinio.
Girona,
Savino, yeah,
Savino. Like there's goals, Adaku, there's goals across all that,
yeah,
and they have can bring on anyone there if they need to. Like Haaland is their clear finisher, but there's goals from all those other players.
yeah.
So I think they're going to prioritize that a versatile 6'8" that can do both.
Maybe the answer's already there. Maybe Calvin Phillips is reborn.
Uh, I'd say Calvin Phillips is going out the door if anyone's going anywhere.
Yeah.
So you can nearly
Um,
play Ederson in midfield now at the rate you're going. Keep Ortega in goal.
Stefan
He's so,
Ortega. Dan doesn't rate him, but I think he's a very, very good number two.
yeah, yeah. But
Um,
anyway, no one really
anyways,
cares what City do really in the transfer window.
I care, Howard.
That's the bottom line really. No one
All
I
they're
really
doing is
no
making
one
money,
cares.
Howard.
Yeah,
All they're doing is making money.
making
and
money.
I'm
That's
doing it.
it.
I'm doing it legally too. Um,
For
It
now.
took a while, but you've got there.
Yeah, yeah, well done. Well done, Zach.
welcome, Moss. Yeah, we're going to get on well this season.
Yeah.
Okay, come here. We'll move on. So, one thing you're looking forward to most this season, does anything stand out for you? I'll actually start. What I'm looking forward to most this season is the new Champions League format
Oh yeah.
because obviously we're going from kind of eight groups of four to now just one whole league-based system. So basically, it's gone from 32 to 36 teams, and there's going to be teams seeded as well. So the draw is going to be mental until wait till it comes around. You see just how many kind of balls are taken out of the pot to try and figure out who's playing who. But I mean, you'll have one team. So say City, for example, are going to play 8 games. They're going to play four at home, four away, and then eight completely different teams. Um, so then at the end of the league, when everyone has their 8 games done, one to eight go through to the second round of knockout, and then 9 to 24, those 16 teams go into like a two-legged affair where like those 8 winners go into the other eight in the knockout things. I just think it's a mess, but I'm looking forward to it because nothing wrong with the Champions League. It was brilliant, but it's always nice to kind of refresh it a little bit. And yeah, I suppose the league system will be something new, and if the Super League was to ever kind of gather momentum again, this is the perfect kind of what's the word for it? Trailer for it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's
Yeah, no.
my one,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
Howard, anything you're looking forward to?
You spoke about a mess there. I'm looking forward to another mess. Hopefully that'll happen, which is the Chelsea FC. I'm hoping and praying that the mess continues to get messier and that they just start sliding down the table again like they did at the start last season. I just think what's going on there is just absolute madness, and
Yeah,
you like I just the transfer deal. Like we thought they came in, they were like, oh, the first few windows were gonna go crazy, but they're still going. They're still
yeah,
going at it, and it's just they have like 8 first team goalkeepers,
that's all that.
and like a squad of over 40 players, like, and it's like what's going on here, and it's just the excitement the Chelsea fans get of, oh, we're signing this player, we're signing, like, surely they must be sick of it by now. And like that, I'm look,
I think they've hit the wall, Howard. Like
there
they're
must
just
be because like,
like,
and then
what are you doing to our football club?
they're
Like,
treating their homegrown players, Gallagher and
Yeah,
Chalobah, like fucking like they're yeah, like they're peasants and trying to get rid of them
yeah,
out
it's
of
like
it.
they're lepers. You have to stay in a different section to the rest of
It's
us. Like,
insane. Like it's just a completely yeah, and like just basically, I'd love to see that whole
And
monopoly that they're doing there just collapse on its feet, and then just like see you later, Chelsea. That's the
what would it look like? You say collapse. What would that look like? Like,
like just something similar to last season. Like to finish sixth in the end wasn't too bad. No, I can't see it happening because they have a lot of good players, and your man Enzo, the new manager, looks decent-ish. But I'm just hoping it's entering around a mid-table finish. I'd be just delighted just to see them lose, and like just to show that like this sort of scenario, it's just not feasible, and it's not a way to run a club because it's just
yeah,
it's taking a mockery of everything really. And
yeah,
how they're
it
getting away
is.
with it, I don't understand really. I don't. I've lost trying to figure out how many hotels I need to sell to get up to to figure out what threshold I need to meet for PSR. So I just think it's gone above and beyond ridiculous now. But
Yeah, it is
just
100%. And some of the names that are lost. within the kind of hold. I mean, Raheem Sterling, nobody's seen him in, you know, long, long
Sure, he doesn't
time.
need to show up. Like there's 39 players to cover for him if he doesn't show up. Like he
But
wouldn't
like,
even
why
go.
do you join Like, like if you're one of
Yeah,
these South American kids and you're like, oh, they're gonna, I'm gonna play on the left wing for Chelsea. I'm only 19 now. Like the left wing is full of 19 South
Yeah.
American
yeah,
lads that
yeah,
are that are on
But
like,
that's it. Like they're signing up players from like they have contracts in place for once they turn 18 to come to England and they're like a lot of those players have like they're not from the wealthiest background. So of course
yeah,
they have a
they're
yeah,
going to
European
take it.
club coming in for them.
Yeah,
So they're like, I'm going to get this amount of money from my family. Of course I'm going to go over and take it. But
yeah.
like,
yeah,
how is Maresca supposed to pick a start? How I don't think
yeah.
a
I
Chelsea
don't.
fan could pick start. The only one you'd be like, oh, Cole Palmer's probably going to play. And after that, I'm going to pick between my eight goalkeepers. Well,
Yeah,
seven. One, I think the one the bought from Genk has gone back. Like, how do
Yeah.
you even train eight goalkeepers? Like they don't
yeah,
have
that's
enough
true.
goals. They don't have like it's just
Don't
madness.
even have
That's a
You don't
good
have to
point.
share the goals.
Yeah, like
You
I'm
take
like,
a quarter
what are they
here.
doing? It's just
Uh,
insane. Like I'd be so frustrated. Like at the start it was funny, whereas now I'm kind of like they're
Scratching
just
your head like,
destroying like
yeah,
a really strong club that are now like you just expect them to go bust. Like
yeah.
it's just
Honest
that's
to
my
God, like
expectation at this stage.
at this stage, you are. You're right. You're kind of looking at and say, okay, this bubble is absolutely going to burst. Last season, they just bought a lot. They haven't stopped it. Like the bubble looks like it will eventually burst, and it's just going to be a mess for the football club and for the fans and everything. And they're like, it doesn't look like they're going to stop. Like they're still looking at other players like that. Victor Osman, isn't it from
yeah,
Napoli? They're
yeah, yeah,
looking at it.
yeah. Looking at him, they tried to sign your man. That was a nightmare. Your man from
From Atletico, was it?
yeah, Amradian. I don't know how you say his name, but Samu Amradian. He was signed, ready to go, part of the Gallagher deal, and then
Yeah.
they tried to buy 30% or something of his rights. Chelsea wanted to buy his rights, and he said that there was a lack of respect, so he said no to them.
Okay.
And now the Gallagher deal has fallen, was in the brink of falling through. So Chelsea are trying to sign
Yeah.
João Felix now.
Joe
But
Felix, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
Felix.
why?
Like he's been
Yeah.
there, and they bought every player in their back to buy the same ones again. Like
Yeah, it's so no tactics whatsoever about it. It's like we had this player, we decided not to buy him. He wasn't great with us, and then now we need to buy a player off Atletico, so we have to pick someone. And we
yeah,
like we
we know
could.
him.
I recognize that guy. Yeah.
He's back,
Okay.
yeah. So
It is Chelsea are a
comical.
mess, but look, I mean, if they kind of start playing from next weekend on, they start getting wins. I mean, will the fans care if they're
Yeah,
up there
that's
near the top of the table? I mean,
that's what I'm hoping won't happen, but it could easily happen. Like they have player for players, they have a good team. Like it's just
get them
trying
all
to manage it
together,
though. Yeah.
and of course as well. I mean, you get your starting 11, but I mean, what do you do with your other 29? You know, well, there's
Getting in the
only
match day squad is such an achievement. Like
honest to God, yeah. I mean, there's going to be at least 10, 15 players that like they're there, but they have to go somewhere. They can't just, well, they can just literally pick up their paycheck and kind of come in every morning and train with the reserves.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
You
not
see
really
pictures of like the team messing up the team bus and it's like a quadruple
yeah,
decker
it's not
bus
a,
like coming
uh,
in training.
I saw actually a funny thing online today. Like one of the Chelsea fans were kind of writing to the FA, hand us a transfer ban quick, please.
That's
Um,
pretty accurate, yeah.
yeah, interesting times for Chelsea, but we'll see. Mass, one thing you're looking forward to?
Mine's pretty simple to be honest. A big fan of Kieran McKenna and what he did at Ipswich the
Oh
last
yeah,
two
Oh yeah.
years. They score a lot of goals. They kind of remind me of an old school United team the way they attack. So I'm kind of like hoping that they have a good season. Um, would love to see them stay up and like see can they adapt. They've
yeah,
bought well. They've bought players that, although they were kind of were expensive by Ipswich standards, they're players that they probably could afford if they go back down and would leave them in a quite a strong position to go back up. So I think they've been shrewd overall. I think a big signing was like getting McKenna to sign an extension is
yeah,
huge. Was huge there. So I'm really excited to see Ipswich back in Premier League after 20 odd years and seeing hopefully them doing well and staying up.
yeah. Actually, just completely off topic. My most memorable moment for Ipswich is when he hockeyed them 9-1 back
Yeah,
in the day. That was a long, long time ago. I think Andy Cole got five that day. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus Christ,
yeah.
he absolutely he rode them that day. But no, what
We don't
else?
get too many of those nowadays.
No,
So we remember the odds the 9 nils or the 9 1s. Yeah.
long, long time ago. Yeah, what do you call it? Before we move on to our next segment, just a reminder as well, new season, but the same rules apply. Please do subscribe to the Football Fanatic podcast on YouTube and on Spotify as well. Right. So next segment is our first manager to be sacked. So you've mentioned kind of two managers there for Chelsea and Ipswich, McKenna and how do you pronounce it? Enzo Maresca. So I mean, I've just kind of gone through a list. Enzo Maresca for Chelsea, McKenna for Ipswich, West Ham. Julian, how do you pronounce the second name?
Lopetegui? I don't know.
Lopetegui, is it?
La,
Oh yeah, Mossy spent some time over in the France or
Lopetegui.
Spanish area, didn't you? Mossy, you know a bit of
I did, yeah. I was
Spanish.
perfecting just his name all summer.
Leicester, Steve Cooper, Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner. I know he was there before the season ended. And then Brighton, Fabian Husler, who is only 31 years of
Oh
age.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
younger
yeah.
than all of us, like. He's 31 years of
Completed
age.
football manager, was it? That was that guy.
Probably was.
German football manager complete, so he's moved on.
Okay, so what do you call it? I mean, first manager to be sacked. Um, anyone standing out for you within that list, or anyone else like not on that list? Is Arnie Slot the first one to kind of get the up on the chopping board?
I actually think it's pretty controversial enough one. I would think maybe if Newcastle don't start well,
Oh yeah,
that Howe could be gone, I'd say.
Yeah, he's
Um,
lost his biggest supporters really in the two who stepped away,
oh,
Shelby,
Amanda thing, yes,
Amanda
yeah,
Shavely or whatever her
yes,
name is
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
herself. They were like big Eddie Howe supporters, so he's lost a good bit of supporting upstairs, a good bit of backing upstairs. So that could, I'd be someone, I'd be thinking along the same lines. If things don't go
Yeah,
well,
they didn't
that
finish the
he's going to
season well.
be
Yeah, last season
no.
either. Yeah, so I
So
think he could
what?
be on the chopping
He
board.
wouldn't be high. I think Nuno Espirito
Oh yeah,
Santos would be they like by the like they started off well. He 2 or 3 good games on Forest last year at the start of the reign. Then after that, I think he got one more game. I think his results were like the only teams that had won
yeah,
more than him were Luton, or he beat Luton and someone else who got relegated, but possibly Burnley. They were third after that. So it's just kind of a real dour atmosphere. I wouldn't be overly surprised
Yeah,
right.
if he was one of the first to go.
makes sense. Yeah.
All right, you're both going for Eddie Howe. I mean, just of the list that I mentioned there, I mean, Enzo Maresca, if the shit hits the fan at
Oh
Chelsea, I
yeah.
mean, why wouldn't they get rid of him after whatever
Well, he's
month,
probably
two
on a
months?
10-year contract, is he?
Probably is. Yeah.
Only five for Pomareska.
Was it 85? Oh, jeez, he
Yeah,
got stung there with a 5-year one.
I
he's
go
a couple
back.
of million
Uh,
payoff.
I go back to Brighton and the new manager Fabian Hursler. Like again, he's 31. I mean, he could be like a lamb to the slaughter completely. I mean, if he gets kind of a bad start, I mean, could
The only
completely.
thing is Brighton are smooth out when it comes to hiring staff in general, like players and managers. So Tony
They
Bloom,
are.
isn't it?
No, no.
He'll I have a feeling he might have got this one right as well. But you
I
could be
know, but I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
it's so
You can't
like,
get it right all the time. Sometimes it's got to go wrong. Like
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
so,
oh, but like he's
I
30,
know
he's
I know what you're saying.
31.
He's got good
Like,
people around him. He's 31,
yeah.
but like yeah, he comes with a good record. He probably wasn't first choice when they were going recruiting, but that's what he went with. It's hard to know, but like he's got a good team. So Brighton have made some decent signings this summer. They've added
yeah,
to it. They've got players coming back from injury, like Matoma and those guys. So
yeah,
like he's got a good team there to work with, and he likes to play Brighton style football. So he should
Yeah.
be a relatively natural fit.
yeah.
Again, they've gone through a lot of managers who've done very well. So I always would have the fear that sometimes it's just going to go wrong.
True. Yeah, he'd be my pick just for pure fact of a lack of experience. I mean, he's what do you call it? If I don't know what the fixture list is like, but I mean, if Brighton get like a few bad results, all of a sudden, like he's the easy target. Like, I mean, he's a lack of experience. I mean, just get rid of
It's,
him, bring in, you know. So we'll see. Just actually, just before we move on, United, Ten Hag signed a new contract over the summer. And over the weekend when I was watching the Community Shield, it showed a really fun. Well, to me, it was funny. It was Ten Hag, and then to his left was Ruud van Nistelrooy, and sporting a very nice pair of glasses as well, I must say. Um, is Van Nistelrooy eyeing up the number one job at United? Um, not even in the long
Yeah,
term.
like to be honest, when you see an assistant manager coming in, both Rene Hackett and
Oh yeah,
Van Nistelrooy have both been first team managers. So when you see two guys who've been there, done that, coming in, and the debacle about whether they were going to keep him
yeah,
last summer and the disrespect from meeting all the other managers and it was very public. Like, if it doesn't start well, they're going to pull the trigger and they have their replacements there. That would be my reading of that situation. So
yeah,
he's under a lot of pressure. The whole backroom team has been put in place with Dan Ashford, etc. They're at training every week. He's been very much watched and constantly under pressure. If United season doesn't start well, he's basically spent $500 million rebuying Ajax players.
yeah.
They're entitled to pull the trigger at that stage. I think he'll have been given time and given players he wants, but I I think I feel I'm trying to be hopeful and positive that we'll start well. We start poorly first two seasons and we'll start well and we'll go from strength to strength. But Ruud van Nistelrooy is not one to stay in the background. Ruud van Nistelrooy is not one
Yeah.
to play second fiddle. So Ruud van Nistelrooy, I wouldn't be surprised if it was their manager by the end of the season.
That
Interesting.
makes sense.
Did
Yeah.
the FA Cup save Ten Hag? Do you think,
Did it?
Ross?
Yeah,
Did he?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, there was like there was some buy-in from fans like that we didn't want to keep going through this conveyor belt of managers and who we going to get, and they basically went out there. Who will we get? Actually, none of these are definitely better. So we'll just stick with what we had. Like, it wasn't like a great show of faith in them. It was like, you'll
Yeah.
do, I suppose. We'll keep going with you.
Was there talk for a while of McKenna? I know Chelsea were
Yeah.
looking at.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was.
Were
Yeah. Yeah.
United as well?
McKenna was linked. Yeah, McKenna was linked, and then now I don't know whether that was negotiation tactic because he can apply because like he got a new contract, a
Yeah,
much improved terms with Ipswich, so maybe that was part of it as well. But yeah, sure, we basically checked out. We're meeting with everybody. Like Tuchel was talked to,
yeah.
McKenna was talked to. Like there's so many players that are managers that were linked to them. Like it's a bit of a mayhem. Like when you get relegated and you become the Bayern Munich manager, like in the company,
I was just
like the
about to bring up the
manager
competition.
situation is a bit all over the place. Like I said it to you last year, I was like, is he put himself in the shop window consistently playing this style of football? And apparently he was. Like
Yeah,
that's what he did. He managed to get himself a top job. So I don't know. Yeah, like I'm hoping it goes well that Ten Hag is our manager in the season. But if it goes wrong, I feel like Ineos have a backup plan ready to go.
I would have. Yeah. All right, very good. And now, just before we move on, Liverpool's new manager, Arnie Slot. Dan has sent in numerous messages to the WhatsApp group over the last 2 weeks saying Slot is cooking. Again, it's pre-season, so we'll take that, with a pinch of salt. But I mean, if Slot doesn't get a good start, I've said this to Dan numerous times, like the manager after Klopp is similar to the manager that came in after Ferguson. The very, very big shoes
Yeah.
to fill, and
It's tough. Yeah.
Moyes paid the price for that. Will Slot pay the price for being the next one after Klopp? I always say like kind of the one after the next one is could be the good spot to have. But I mean, Arnie Slot,
To be fair, Deck, though, of all clubs to go to, Liverpool fans like treat it as a family. And although they can be very harsh and hard to deal with as a United fan, when it comes to the row and they tend to look after him, I think he would get more time at Liverpool than he would get at other clubs.
Yeah.
that's
Like,
a what's they call it? That's a Man United fan giving very, very nice credit to a Liverpool team.
Mad.
yeah,
Sure.
Dan isn't here, so I don't have to
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to him gloat about it. But
Very
yeah,
good. Yeah.
I personally think he'll be given stop. They bought no one,
Yeah.
and that midfield needs something. I also have concerns in that like Salah is a fantastic player, but he's going to get into the stage of career where can you depend on him to score 25 goals, and if he's not scoring goals, like where are they going to come from? Because like what's his name? Who can't score? Nunes.
Nunes. Oh yeah.
Nunes. Yeah.
Nunes is such a frustrating player. Cody Gakpo has moments. Jada's probably next that scores goals. So like
Yeah.
they need someone in midfield. Like if they get Supermende or as
Yeah.
they're
He
being
looks
linked
good.
with,
Yeah.
he's a real engine, and they've got technical players around him that do a lot, and they're going to be a little bit more technical under Slot. I think he seems to be fitting in quite well, taking in everyone. The pub players seem to be on board, and I think the fans will be behind him more than other clubs. That I would be surprised if he was one of the first managers to be put under pressure, likely to go.
Yeah, very good. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Howard. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I like the way they're playing in preseason would indicate that he's going to be They're going to have a bit of a bounce, I think. Liverpool.
Yeah.
I can see it going like they're going to start off the season very well, and when any new manager comes in, it takes a while for other managers to figure out what way to play and how to solve them and all that. I think after a couple of months, then you might see them kind of peak and then starting to drop off, and his that 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 manager bounce might start to get less bouncy, I
You're
guess.
kind of expecting a similar trajectory to Postecoglou
Yeah, something
last year.
similar. Well, like something similar. Like you can see the players seem to be excited with his style of football. You hear some of the interviews from Harvey Elliott and your man I can't remember his name, the other lad in midfield, the young lad. But anyway, they're raving about. I think maybe they were
Oh, it was
sick
Curtis
of
Jones, is it?
Curtis Jones. Yeah,
Curtis
yeah,
Jones. Yeah.
they were sick and tired of Klopp's style of football. I'd say for a while because it is fairly heavy metal, as you say. So I'd say the slot the slot machine is fitting in pretty well by the sounds of it. And
We'll see. We'll see. Don't be giving Dan too much, whatever the word is. His head will get bigger.
he's extremely bald though, isn't he? He's very, very bald. Like so that might
Arnie.
Arnie, yeah. Arnie Slot.
Yeah,
What's so what if he's bald?
He's just extreme. Like sometimes you can,
he's
yeah.
shiny bald.
It's like he's
Like
never
Ten
had
Hag
hair
is
ever.
bald with a little bit of like
Yeah.
you need
This
A little bit
sunglasses
of
around
bald.
Downey. Like
this guy can't grow facial hair or any hair actually.
Do,
It's
do you
just
think? Do you think?
it's a genetic disorder. He come out looking exactly like it is now. I'd say when he was first born, like
Do you think it's a?
he hasn't grown one hair.
Do you think it's a medical condition?
It is like one of these kind of clones that they make, isn't it? In these movies, and they come out with a clone thing, and they have the bald hair, and that he's like one of them.
Howard, are you going on holiday soon, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I might need a
just because you
break, but
went to
like,
Turkey, Howard, though, there's no need to be going
yeah,
straight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, last season you had your kind of your time away in the sun for a week or two. Actually, no. Before we move on, you were talking about the new manager bounce. One man who has
mm.
not got the manager bounce is Wayne Rooney.
No,
You
he's
watch
had
him?
struggle already. Yeah,
No.
lost the
Ah,
first game, isn't it?
I mean, I know at Birmingham, fair enough, he came in and it was bad the way that all that was handled. But I mean, he's at Plymouth now, and what do you call it? Sheffield Wednesday, 4-0 yesterday. I mean, not a good place to start. And I mean, Rooney, I mean, I would have thought, kind of just given the hunger and the player type of player he was, I thought he would fit into management. Not, seamlessly, but I thought he would do quite well at it. But I mean, so far it's not working for him. What do you think, Moss? Any thoughts on Rooney?
Yeah, look, he's interested to talk and listen to. He's like
As a
he
pundit,
he
is it?
just loves the game. Yeah, as a pundit, like he's not like super insightful, but he's interested in that his mindset towards the game, I suppose.
Yeah,
Um, but like I was actually looking to review it again, and like he played a two up front, and they were getting battered on the wings,
yeah.
and it took them to half time to make the change, and then straight after like the change to one up front and got a little bit more defensive and tight, and then straight after second half they conceded an own goal. So like, look, it's a bad start, and because his name's Wayne Rooney, like we wouldn't be talking about Plymouth on this podcast only
Yeah,
Wayne Rooney. Like,
Sure. I'll
it's a
have
bad
you know
start.
that my second team is Plymouth Argyle. Anyway, so go ahead.
Not someone else in the city group. No,
Girona are my third favorite
you're
team.
on it.
sure, no, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a bad start, but I wouldn't write him off just yet. I think there's like he's had a full preseason there. They've invested in a few players.
Uh,
They're a well-run club. I reckon he could still be
they're a
as good as
well-run club. You know a lot
yeah.
about
They've got
Plymouth Argyle, do you?
Plymouth were bought out about like 3 or 4 years ago. They were in a bad state. They got a whole new like investment. They've put money into a new club. They're on the up, new
Good man.
structures. Yeah,
So, Dak, you should know
Nice.
this. Your second favorite team, you know. Yeah.
yeah. Come on.
Howard, I was bullshitting you. Okay, that's what I do. No,
That's not, yeah, wouldn't be like you.
no, not at all. Okay, we'll move on. Fantasy football is back for another season. The winner last year was Alex Coulter. By pure chance, he's a Liverpool fan, and I'm going to be going to Liverpool this week for a few days. I have to pick up his jersey, so I'll be delivering that to him, and he will be a guest on our show next week. So he will send in a photo, the obligatory photo of him in his new jersey. We'll put that up online, and then I never have to think about buying another Liverpool jersey again. Hopefully. Speaking of the jersey, I don't know if you've seen it.
Shocking.
I put it up in the yeah, you did see it. Sorry, I put the picture up. It's horrible. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
I don't
horrible.
like it. It's the away one, isn't it? The black one,
Yes,
is it? Yeah.
yeah, no, it's the black one with the green at the end of the sleeves.
Yeah.
It's really, really nasty
Live,
looking
yeah.
stuff.
Nasty.
It is like slime. It's
It's like
just
That's generally how I
slotty
feel about
snack.
Liverpool jerseys, so I can't
yeah.
comment really.
No, but I don't mind Liverpool jerseys in general. Like, some of their away jerseys over the years have actually been quite nice. But this is just you don't put black and green together. It's like
Yeah.
it's something you just get. It's Arnie
It's
Slot.
missing some blue deck, is it?
The fuck, I don't need the blue. But I mean, just it's black and then green on the sleeves. I mean,
You,
whoever's in their kind of design department needs to fucking get sacked because it's
you should
horrible. But I
you
mean,
Um,
should you
just
should
when
put
you're on
something
jerseys,
on.
did you see
Yeah.
the new Chelsea one? The Chelsea home
Oh yeah,
jersey.
yeah, yeah. Brutal
I
as well, yeah.
I heard it's all like waves of water and different shades of blue, and it's like a representation of us trying to cover every player in the world and get a whole
right.
mixed bag and represented in the jersey.
Actually, sorry, no, one
Pretty
I
accurate.
meant to on jerseys, something's come to mind now. I read recently Luton aren't bringing out a new jersey this season. They're using last season's jersey again.
Oh.
And it just kind of got a debate going online. Should other clubs be replicating this as well? Because I mean, obviously, by not bringing out a new jersey, you're saving the fans money. You are what do you call it?
Losing money as a club.
Yeah.
Yeah, losing money as a club, fair point. But you're taking into consideration fans and spending money, etc. I mean, is that something that clubs should be doing? Obviously, business wise, revenue wise, yes, they bring out a new jersey every season, a new home, away, and a third. But I
This
mean,
it sounds like the marketing person in Luton just got the sack and like they're like, fuck, we better just keep the same jerseys going. That's what it sounds like to me.
I think Luton were like, we're going to get a parachute payment here. Like, we don't need to worry about jersey sales. Like,
Yeah. But they
but
changed the
I think it's
crest, did they not? Luton. I thought I saw something online that they've had they've a new crest now, so I don't know how that works for the New Jersey. But
okay.
anyway. Yeah, anyway,
I don't
sorry,
know.
go on,
It
Master.
kind of shows that they're a smaller community club. You're never going to get like a
Yeah.
big business doing that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
the
fair
Chelsea
point.
jersey I was on about there is like £120.
Is
That's
it?
So
that's
yeah,
scandalous.
that's the stand. That's £120 for a home jersey. So like,
Oh my gosh.
This
Yeah.
yeah,
actually just what they got the jersey that I have to buy Alex, Dan's brother for winning fantasy football. I don't I think it's like £80 or something like that. Don't mind paying it. I'm a man of my word. I was always going to get this, but like £80 for that dirt, that like muck. I mean, if it was a nice jersey, it would make the purchase a little bit easier. But I'm gonna wear that to bed for a couple of
You
nights
have to
before.
get something on the back deck, something funny on the back, like something to do with the podcast, maybe.
I'm gonna get like
So he'll
yeah.
never wear it, like.
I'm gonna get the name slot and then a picture of a slot underneath, the animal. You
No
know,
numbers, just a
take
slot.
take that coulter. I don't like you and I don't like your brother. You know?
Let that be a
Okay.
warning.
No, but he'll be on next week, and what do you call it? We'll get his opinion on Arnie Slot as well, and Dan will also be back next week. So that is fantasy football. Oh yeah, the code. Apologies. So the code to join this year's fantasy football is GO5WBP. So far there's about I think there's 20 odd people in the fantasy football so far. So do get joining. And again, the first prize, like last season, will be a club jersey of your choice. So now a new segment for this season is a Super Six Predictions League. So it's similar to what we were doing last season, but Sky Sports picked the games for us. I'm getting lazy in my old age. So what do you call it? It's very, very simple. So sign up at the link. It's Super Six at Sky Sports. Sign up for free. And then every week they provide six fixtures where you have to predict the result in each game. If you were to get all six correct, you win 2 million, but that's not going to happen. So basically, in our league, we'll basically replicate how they do it. So for a correct result, you get 2 points. For a correct score, you get 5 points. And then basically very simple. The winner, come the end of the season, will get €100 cash to their name. So this week, what do you call it? The round one deadline, they call it. So is this Saturday the 17th. So the following six fixtures, you have to have your predictions in by Saturday at 3 p.m. Arsenal, Wolves, Newcastle, Southampton, Everton, Brighton, West Ham, Villa, Brentford, Palace, Chelsea, and Man City. So Dan has actually sent in his predictions to the Arsenal and Newcastle matches. So he has said Arsenal to win 3-0, Newcastle to win 3-0. Howard, I will also get your predictions for the Arsenal and Newcastle games. What do you think?
I was similar actually. I had 3-0 Arsenal and 2-0 Newcastle against Southampton. Yeah.
Newcastle. Okay. Go on to the next one. So Everton and Brighton, West Ham and Villa. Moss, do you think there?
I had Everton Brighton as 1-1. Um, and West Ham Villa, I have Villa 2-1. Nicholas Fulkirk scored a header for us, West Ham, though.
Uh, Completely off topic. West Ham have bought all right, I think.
Yeah, they
Yeah, they
have.
have, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I feel like they probably overspent a little bit on Fulkirk, like 29 million on a 31 year
Was
old
it
is probably a
29?
bit.
God, that is a
29
lot.
million, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they bought some decent players, and
yeah.
it's going to be a very different style. Like Kilman, they like basically read on their whole back line. Bambasaka's going there,
Wan-Bissaka,
Coleman's
yeah.
there.
Who?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be.
Oh, yeah, Kilman. Yeah, yeah. And they're getting rid of
Kilman,
Zuma, I think.
Somerville from Leeds as well is
he's
a
a good
very good
player.
purchase.
Very good player.
Yeah, he's a very good purchase, and he's only young. He's only 22 or 23, I think.
Yeah.
So if he's even that, so yeah, they've bought some good players. They are
Good.
playing defensive football though. Like I feel like if Moyes had bought Nicholas Fulkirk, he would have got lambasted
Yeah,
for
that's
for
true.
that signing. But
That's true.
apparently
That's
it's
true.
okay because Lopetegui's doing it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how they go. So I
Yeah.
have Villa winning 2-1 there, and Everton, Brighton 1-1.
Okay, very good. And then the final two I'll go with. So Brentford and Palace, I've gone for Palace to win 2-1. Chelsea and Man City, I've gone for City to win 3-1.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
understand that.
so those are the Super Six predictions. So again, you can sign up for free Sky Sports, and then just basically each week fill in your predictions before the deadline. And I think there's about 11 in the group so far. So we'll give updates each week, and we'll get the lads to give their predictions for each of the games. And that is pretty
What's the
much.
prize deck?
Gee, you weren't listening. I told you the
You forgot the
prize.
prize.
No, I didn't forget the prize. You
No,
just weren't listening.
I just try to, reiterate how great the prize is. So I just wanted to just say it again.
The prize is €100 cash into your pocket.
Cash, cool
Cash,
cash,
cold
nice.
hard cash,
In an
monopoly
envelope,
money.
or like,
No,
how are you gonna transfer it? Like,
bank
Hey,
transfer.
Revolut,
bank
man.
transfer. Yeah, yeah, for your Revolut, cash for your Revolut,
If yeah, it's what they call it. If you win our league, you win €100 cash. If you get
tax
six
free.
predictions, if you get six predictions right, Sky Sports will give you 2 million. But yeah, look, we're a growing podcast, in time. Um, but yeah, €100 cash to the winner. We reckon that we should try and get as many as you can involved because it is good crack. It'll be brought up each week. Um, just like the fantasy football, the winner will change every single week. There'll be kind of people who are flying it, and all of a sudden they'll be down the bottom of the table, like Howard was last season and Kieran was as well. And yeah, it'll be good crack. So do sign up on Sky Sports, do it for free, and yeah, that is pretty much us for this week. We'll be back next Monday. We have Alex Coulter on, as I was saying. Dan will be back. Howard and Moss will be with us as well. We will have a couple of guests lined up over the coming weeks as well. Kieran, I'm sure, will make a return at some stage. And we have the Football Fanatic Podcast Night Out planned for the end of the month. Um, yeah. Any other business?
It's in a secret location, isn't it, that we don't want to tell the fans in case we get swamped. You know what I
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get
mean?
I'm sure we'll get swamped, right?
We can't afford security just yet, so
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, no, that's pretty much us for the first week, man. It's brilliant to be back.
yeah.
Any other business to discuss before we go?
Nothing for me, Dick.
All right, very good.
no,
Moss, how do
that's
you
me.
feel your
Enjoy the
first?
weekend's games, guys.
Yes, Moss, your first week of being an official panelist. How does it feel?
It's fantastic. I'm hoping that it's going to be a brilliant year for United. And I have a feeling, Howard, and I'm just saying it now because City won the Community Shield. I think Arsenal are going to win the league.
Yeah, I don't like that everyone thinks this now. I would have rather we won the league when no one thought we were going to win the league, like last two seasons.
Yeah,
Now it's like, fuck,
yeah,
and they have very, very tough running or running to start Arsenal. So,
Who do you have?
uh,
yeah.
we've Wolves, then Villa, we've Villa away, Tottenham away, and I think City away in the first 5 games.
Okay, fair enough.
If
Interesting.
So,
just on the last question I'll ask you, and just because it's my first week, and I'm going to just get this question out there: do Arsenal need to sign a striker before the end of the season, before the end of the transfer window?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
I think not, but I think they need to get if they need an attacking player. It doesn't have to be a striker. I think they need
Yeah.
either a winger
Someone
or a
across the
striker.
front three,
Yeah, yeah,
someone to take the
exactly.
load off Saka.
Exactly. Like Saka can't be if Saka were one injury away from a fucking,
Yeah.
I thought that
calamity. So
Victor Osman would have been ideal for you. I
Yeah,
thought.
I thought as well, but it seems like they're not mad about him and his wages and his attitude, I think. So they're
Yeah,
really,
Yeah.
Conte wants nothing to do with him. Like,
yeah, so I don't know, I'd say Arsenal, same with Tony, like Arsenal they're very
uh,
conscious of the character and all that they're signing. So
uh,
let's see, I'd say they're going to do something by the end of the window, but depends on who, but,
he bought the
um,
defender there today. It goes
Calafiore,
Califiori.
yeah, he'll be,
Calibre.
yeah.
Cali-
No, look, they're another year older as well, another year getting used to the style of football and everything. So I'd expect them to hit the ground running now. But
They're
look,
gonna, I'll
let's
tell you
see.
what they're gonna do, Howard. They're gonna turn that grey hair even more grey. That's what they're gonna do. That's what they're gonna do to you, man.
That's what they're gonna do. That is what they're gonna do. I need to just shave it. They do Arnie Slot in it. Just get a fucking get the shave it off. Get
He,
the wax
And
strips out.
some shoe polish while they're at it.
Yeah,
leave Arnie alone. It's a medical condition, man. Okay.
All
That
right.
will do. We will leave it there, man. Thank you very much. And we'll be back next week. All right.
yeah.
Please
Cheers, folks.
subscribe, follow,
Bye,
and
guys. Mind
have a good
yourselves.
week. Cheers,
Cheers.
guys. Good luck.